What's up, world? It's Sammy B, the Michael Fella. It's been a minute since I've come back to the board to share some information, some of my teachings. This one here, I labeled it Cosmic Intelligence. I realized my previous teaching was a little bit harsh. The Bible is the word of the devil. I mean, that is profound. So, not to tone it down, but it is a continuation of that particular subject. Because we know what's going on in the world now. And so if we don't get to the root, then we're lying to ourselves. So let's get to it. Just a refresher for those who don't know what I do and how I do what I do. The binary codes is what I'm using to explain everything I'm saying. Just like a scientist, you have to have a formula to explain what you are saying or what you are teaching. And I've told you nothing is by coincidence. So the word binary itself is number 9. So if you're wondering how I did it, 0 to 9. Because in this world, all the numbers we have start from 0 to 9. So the ABCs, if you put it together in the English language, equals 26, which is number 8, which is 0 and 0. So 0 and 0 doesn't really make sense because it's telling you it's a cycle, but that's fine. It's a binary cycle. But the word binary, right, itself is number 9. And we know in the binary codes, it starts with zeros and 1. That forms all the numbers or all the codes in the universe. So if you're writing number 9, it would be 1 and 0. So once again, within that code itself, just the word binary itself, it is 0 and 1, which is number 9, right? The highest. The word code is number 2, which is 20. I've calculated it here already, so you don't have to worry, or we don't have to waste too much time. So that's 20. As we know, it takes 2 to tangle, to bind, so it's a code. So the code of the binary tells you right away here, it is 2. And then the binary itself is number 9. If you put it together, it's 11, and 11 is a master number, right? So 9 plus 2 is 11. So automatically it tells you the word binary code is a master number. All right. So the word truth is number 24. What does truth do? It births. It's a consistent birth of what? Truth. Truth doesn't change. It constantly births more truth within its truth to explain more of itself. Just like I'm trying to explain the binary code and I show you number 9 and the code itself says number 2 and you put it together, it's 11, right? 9 plus 2 is 11. So it's constantly explaining itself within more and more code within itself. So that's why truth is number 6. It keeps birthing nothing but truth. Okay? So the word love is number 8. And as you can see, the English word or the English alphabet is what? 26 is number 8. It represents love. This is the trickery that was used to colonize the entire world, especially when it comes to the Englishmen, right? Because they use the frequency of love as they preach something to you that is not of truth, but it is in a con way, a con artist state of mind. To get to the point of this whole code, because they're saying that their language is of love, but their actions will show you differently because of the colonization and the blood that was shared, selling your fellow human being or trading in that business. So the frequency of love is 8, which is in the English language itself, or the English alphabet itself, which is 26, which if you put it together will give you number 8. So above, so below. So it's and we know love is a trick. Love is an emotion of a trick. It's not the frequency of truth, but it is the frequency of truth. So it's above and so below. It's a two-sided coin that act the same and mimic the same, because evil people can use love to trick and still get their way around and fake love, right? So love is in English language, it is number 8. I'll break it back down to you later on again in a better explanation. Now you have male, okay? Male in the English language, who is supposed to be the foundation, because the sperm that comes out of man is water. And water is the foundation of life. It is, in the beginning, the word was with God, and the face of God was on the, right? That's what they're saying in their book, in their Bible. So I'm trying to explain to you where they got this information from. So male is number 4, which is water, and the man gives you water. The sperm is a form of water. The female is the highest. Number 7 is the highest. So for instance, in the binary codes, once you start from 0, all these zeros and 1 are forming these 4, 5, right? So the ones, anything that has a curvature, like number 3, right, is coming out of the 0. Because that 0, if you took half of it, is that. If you add the other half, is that. If you're writing 4, you use the 1s to write the 4s. If you're writing 5, you use the 1s and the 5, the zeros, to form the curvature. You see what I'm saying? So that's why the binary code is what gives you the numbers. So the female, once you get to number 7G, it starts repeating itself as 8, which is 0 and 0, 9, which is 0 and 1, as I explained over here, right? So this 0 is what forms all of this. Even the 6, which is a complete one without a full ones to form number 6 in its form, is formed out of the 0. So 6 and 8 are quite similar in its form because they use only the zeros. So we'll say it is positive, right? And then the other ones will be negatives. So the 1s and the 2s, right? The negative and the positives is what forms life. So as you can see, the man is the foundation, the 4, because you need the water to spark the highest of that frequency, which is number 7, right here, right? Because the man has the 4, which is 1, right? And then the 7, which is that. And the 4 and the 7 are the same, because if you turn the 4 upside down, you get a 7, or the opposite side, you get the 7. So that code is right there in between for you to see that the male is the foundation and the woman is the highest of that foundation to be able to birth life, to have the Trinity, which is, you know, their blood and their air come together to form one seed. Now, when we say 5, which is evil, it's number 5. The people also represent 5. So I've explained in the past, you stretch your hand, you stretch your legs, right? So you got those put together, and you have the head, the right and the left, the hands and right hand and left foot, right? Put together, you got that 5-star, right? You got 5 fingers. It represents people. You never see people with 6 fingers on each hands, right? So this is why we see people as star. This is what was measured as if you're human or not. There were people at one point in time born with defects that had 6 fingers and, you know, extra toes. They were defective people, okay? So if you don't have the 5, you're not a human. First of all, you're a defective human, okay? Humankind. Now, people here always say source light. They don't understand what that means. And here in the English language itself, it's translating to you right here that source itself is number 927, which I told you is the binary code. So the binary code was 9 and 2, which you put together was a master number. But if you look at this here, with the source itself is number 9. So the source is like a water where you get the energy from. Nobody knows how water produces itself. Nobody knows how the earth was formed. It's a form of source. We don't know. So anybody who tells you they know how it was formed, we know they're liars. Okay? Light itself, once again, is a master number 2. So once again, you see binary code, source light comes to number, you know what I'm saying, 11, because it is 9 and 11. 9 and 11 itself, 11 is a master number. So God energy, the creator's frequency that you're looking for, not God. You see, the God that sell you is number 8, as you can see, but we'll get to that. But the source light, the frequency, which is the binary code, they all form 911, or they form 911, or 11 master numbers, 9 and 11. Over here is 9 and 2, and that 2, when it's 11, you cannot add it because it says a master number. So right there and there on the light, when they say light, let there be light, as they put it in the Bible, because I told you the devil's the one speaking. He's the one giving you the information, so you got to know how to decode it to be able to understand his frequency of where he's even stealing the information, because many wars had happened. And after those wars, those books were compiled together. Many people could not even read to be able to break down these codes, right? So here we are with the 911, right? So light is 11, source is 9. Now you go to atheists. These are the people that say they worship devils, whatever it is, number 28. But atheist doesn't believe in anything. He believes in practice. That is the I am the one itself. So if an atheist doesn't believe in their God, He's looked at as a bad person, but he needs to find himself. Therefore, he's an atheist to go on his own spiritual journey to figure out where he stands or where she stands, right? So that's number 28, which equals number 1. Now, race. The race they gave you, the human race, you see, they coded it so well so that you can see. So now that forms number 18. Number 18 is number 9. 9, once again, I told you, is a God number, the source number, the binary code. The binary itself, the source itself, is a race, a group of humanity or humankind, right? So it forms 18, which is number 9. Let me circle that for you to see it, right? So that's the number 9. So God is number 8. So you once you see source, and people say source, creator, and somebody says God, you cannot tell just by the code that the God that they give you is number 8. It's not on that level of the ones and zero, because it takes 1 and 0 to form life. It doesn't take 0 and 0, like two male giving birth or 2 females giving birth. That's a God they're trying to sell you, and you can see it in the code, because love is 0 and 0. You have to come with your love, and I have to come with my love and put it together. It is 0 to 0. So their God on that frequency is 0 to 0. So that love can come from any angle, because in love, there's no specification of love. You can love animals, you can love humans, you can love everything. But the practice of love itself, it's general. It's for everybody. Everybody holds a piece of that circle, a piece of that pie. So as you can see, that God that they're giving you in the Bible, when they say God said, when they say the G-O-D, that G-O-D is a singular love, right? Hence we have, priests raping kids or playing with kids so they can go to war, because this love is a singular love for this particular God who is a male. And that male represents some form of homosexuality in some sense. So within all the Abrahamic religion, we'll get there, there is some form of this, male testosterone energy constantly running the show, because it's representing the frequency for a male. We love God, I love Jesus, I love Muhammad. You see, God doesn't have a woman in this God frequency to give, because of the zeros and zero. But general love is for everybody. It's not supposed to be discriminated against. So if you transfer it to a man who's a God, you can tell where they're programming your subconscious to. Now to the Bible. Here goes the Bible. The Bible is a trinity, the basic instruction before leaving earth. It's a manual that somebody has put together to conquer people's minds, bodies, and souls within the religions. And it's number 3, because your body, mind, and spirit, you are the formation of 3 people. As I stand here, I am my father and my mother put together as one individual. So I have all 2 traits in me within my own self, and I have to be able to reprogram myself within their DNA to become that person that which I am. So I'm a trinity. If you see me, you see my father. If you see me, you see my mother, and so goes on to generation. So we are trinities. We are part of that tree. That when you see anybody you see has a 3-piece in them, including themselves. That DNA that is forming is 2 pieces, and then that person's own attached to it to make it a trinity. Hence the basic instruction before leaving earth represents 21, which is number 3. Now Abraham, the father of that religion, he's 32, a Mason number, a master number, like 11 is a master number. In Masonry it's 32 and 33, but here we're talking about a 32, put it together as a number 5. So Abraham automatically, the Abrahamic religion, Christianity, Catholicism, Judaism, Buddhism, you find Abraham one way or the other with Christ's story in it, in all of it, including Islam. Each one of them will have a story related to the Abrahamic religion, and he represents all the people, the 5-star, because I told you, you have 5 fingers, you have your head, your 2 arms, your 2 legs, put it together, it's a 5-pointed star. And he represents the colonization of our minds through all religion, given to us by the Jewish European who have conquered the world. And now, we know what they're doing with the wars. And therefore, we are faced with this confusion in the world, because this information right here is what rules all your laws and regulations. The religions is what turn into politics, into systematic colonizations and reorganization of borders, nations, and flags, right? And sovereignties of nations based on these religions, because before these things came into play, none of these things existed. People, the land was flat. People had their own different way of geographical names. All those have been rechanged due to the wars that has been fought through the Abrahamic religion and their concept of God gave me a land and I should rule over you and you should look up the sky while I put my hand in your pocket. So none of these religions is supposed to be anything for you. You can see right here that you're supposed to go on a quest as an atheist, right here, which is the number one. You yourself, I has to go on a journey to discover around you with the interaction of people, light, elements, the food, the water, the plant, the animal, the sea, the sun. Based on that, once you're on that quest, you're looking for source light, the light that's already inside, because it says this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. There's a fire inside your heart. Even the scientists will tell you that once the light goes off, it's kaput, okay? So you need to find source light as an atheist, one who is a blank slate, willing to listen to all of them. So you gotta study every one of them so you don't get tricked. So basically, I just wanted to explain this basic part because what I really have here was to teach you about a race and show you what the type of race we have on Earth and why we have them here and their numbers to correlate to the truth. All right, I don't want the video to be too long because it's hard to upload. I don't want people to be bored because they spend money on data. I know time is wasted on unimportant explanations, so I'm gonna just leave it here and let this sink in, because by just seeing this information, I've opened up a portal for you to be able now to go on a quest, because now all your education and information and your confusion of life and what you're trying to understand is right here. Just by this code, it's gonna we'll carry on the teaching. With all love, I'm gonna leave it alone. Zambi Star Wars forever. Mike Feller. I love you and keep going on your quest. Easy.